Leon Harrington didn't sweat. Not during market crashes, not during hostile takeovers, and definitely not during board meetings. But standing in conference room A on the 42nd floor of his own building, watching 8 Chinese executives stare at him with growing impatience, he felt something uncomfortably close to panic. But before we dive into this story, where are you watching from? Drop your comment below. Mr. Harrington, Director Feng said in precise English, we were told your team was prepared for full negotiation today. Leon nodded, forcing a smile. Absolutely. My team is ready. Feng's assistant leaned over and whispered something in rapid Mandarin. Feng's expression didn't change, but his eyes sharpened. He responded in Mandarin, several sentences that flowed too quickly for Leon to catch even a single familiar word. Leon turned to his chief operations officer, Marcus, who stood frozen beside the projector. Marcus had assured him, twice, that the translation team was confirmed. Marcus, Leon said quietly. Marcus cleared his throat. The interpreter, there was a scheduling conflict. I thought. You thought what? Leon's voice was low, controlled, but everyone in the room could feel the edge in it. Another executive from the Beijing delegation spoke, this time in Mandarin, gesturing toward the contract binders on the table. His tone wasn't angry yet, but it was heading that way. Leon looked across his own team. 6 of the best minds in international finance. Ivy League degrees. Years of experience. And not one of them could say a single useful sentence in Mandarin. Feng stood. Mr. Harrington, this is a partnership worth $400 million. We came here expecting respect. Preparedness. What we see is carelessness. Director Feng, please, let me make a call. We can have someone here in 20 minutes. We don't have 20 minutes, Feng said coldly. We have other meetings. Other options. The room fell silent. Leon felt the weight of it, the deal collapsing, the reputation damage, the media headlines that would write themselves. Billionaire CEO fumbles biggest deal of the decade. He opened his mouth to try again, but a faint voice interrupted from the back of the room. I can. Everyone turned. Standing just inside the doorway, still holding a gray maintenance cart, was a teenage boy in a janitorial uniform. He couldn't have been older than 17. His name tag read Milo. Leon blinked. Excuse me. The boy stepped forward, his hands fidgeting slightly, but his voice was steady. I speak Mandarin. If you need help. Marcus laughed, short and sharp. Kid, this isn't. Let him speak, Feng said suddenly. The room went still. Milo took a breath, then addressed the delegation directly in Mandarin. His words were clear, unhurried, and confident. Leon didn't understand what he was saying, but he understood the reaction. The executives leaned forward. One of them nodded. Another smiled faintly. Feng responded, and Milo answered without hesitation. The conversation went back and forth, natural, fluid, like they'd known each other for years. Finally, Feng turned to Leon. Your janitor speaks better Mandarin than most of the translators I've worked with in New York. Leon stared at Milo. The boy met his gaze, nervous but determined. Who are you? Leon asked. Milo Reyes, sir. My mom works here. In housekeeping. Leon's mind spun. He'd walked past this kid 100 times and never looked twice. And now this kid, this teenager with a mop cart, was the only reason this meeting hadn't exploded. Feng gestured toward the table. Mr. Harrington, if this young man is willing, we will continue. Leon didn't hesitate. Milo, sit down. Milo hesitated, glancing at Marcus, then back at Leon. Sit, Leon repeated, his voice firm but not unkind. Milo walked to the table, set down his cart outside the door, and took the empty seat between Leon and Feng. And just like that, the meeting that almost destroyed everything started over, with a 17-year-old janitor as the only person in the room who could save it. Milo's hands rested flat on the polished table, steady despite the tremble he felt inside. Around him sat men in suits that probably cost more than his family's rent. Across from him, Director Feng studied him with sharp, calculating eyes. Feng spoke first, his Mandarin smooth and deliberate. He asked about the revised terms in Section 7 of the proposal. specifically the clause regarding intellectual property rights in manufacturing. Milo listened carefully, then turned to Leon. He wants clarification on who retains design patents if production moves to their Shenzhen facility. Leon glanced at Marcus, who quickly flipped through his notes. Tell him we maintain full rights, but they get exclusive licensing for Asian markets. Milo translated, choosing his words with precision. He didn't just repeat what Leon said, he softened the phrasing, made it sound collaborative rather than territorial. Feng's assistant jumped in, speaking faster now, bringing up concerns about timeline delays and quality control standards. The words tumbled out rapid fire, but Milo kept pace. He translated each point, adding context where American business language didn't quite match Chinese expectations. They're worried about the inspection process feeling like distrust, Milo explained. In their culture, that kind of oversight can imply you think they'll cut corners. Leon leaned forward. So what do I say? Reframe it. Call it a partnership protocol, not a quality check. Say it's standard for all international collaborations, not specific to them. Leon nodded slowly. Smart. Do it. Milo turned back to the delegation and spoke. His tone shifted, warmer, more respectful. He used phrases that acknowledged their reputation, their expertise. He made Harrington Global sound eager to learn, not just eager to profit. One of the older executives smiled. He said something that made the others chuckle. What did he say? Leon asked. He said you hired well, Milo replied quietly. He thinks I've been working here for years. Leon didn't correct him. The meeting continued for another hour. Every time tension started building, Milo found the right words to smooth it over. When Marcus accidentally suggested a deadline that translated as disrespectfully rushed, Milo caught it and adjusted before anyone took offense. When the delegation pushed back on profit margins, Milo helped Leon understand it wasn't about greed, it was about face, about feeling valued. By the time Feng stood to leave, his expression had completely changed. He shook Leon's hand firmly, then turned to Milo and spoke in Mandarin, his tone warm. Milo dipped his head respectfully. Xie Feng Xianxing. After the delegation left, the conference room erupted. Marcus looked like he'd witnessed a miracle. The finance team buzzed with relief. But Leon just stood there, staring at Milo like he was trying to solve a puzzle. Where did you learn that? Leon finally asked. Milo shifted uncomfortably. Books, mostly. Books. Leon's voice was flat with disbelief. You learned fluent Mandarin from books? And some podcasts. YouTube videos. Whatever I could find for free. Marcus laughed, shaking his head. Kid, people pay thousands for that kind of education. I didn't have thousands, Milo said simply. Leon walked closer, his expression unreadable. How old are you? 17. You're still in high school? I graduated early. I was going to start community college, but... Milo trailed off. We needed the income. The room went quiet. Leon's jaw tightened. He saw it now, the worn shoes, the uniform that didn't quite fit, the way Milo held himself like someone used to being invisible. You just saved a $400 million deal, Leon said quietly. You understand that? Milo looked down. I just translated. No. Leon's voice was firm. You did a hell of a lot more than that. He pulled out his phone, typed something quickly, then looked back at Milo. Don't clock out tonight. We need to talk. Leon's office occupied the entire south corner of the 42nd floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the Manhattan skyline like a painting. Milo stood in the doorway, still wearing his janitorial uniform, looking completely out of place. Come in, Leon said, gesturing toward the leather chairs across from his desk. Close the door. Milo obeyed, moving carefully, like he might break something just by existing in this space. Leon poured 2 glasses of water from the bar cart, handed one to Milo, then sat on the edge of his desk instead of behind it. Less intimidating that way. So, Leon began. Mandarin. That's not exactly a language you pick up by accident. Milo took a sip, buying time. It's a long story. I've got time. Milo set the glass down, his fingers tracing condensation on the side. When I was 8, a typhoon hit the Philippines. My mom's village got destroyed. We came here with nothing, just whatever clothes we could carry. Leon stayed quiet, letting him continue. We ended up in a shelter in Queens. It was crowded, chaotic. But there was this donation center next door, and they had books. Boxes of them. Most were water-damaged, unreadable. But there was one box that survived. Textbooks from a language school that went out of business. Mandarin primers, grammar guides, workbooks. No one wanted them. So you took them, Leon said. They were all I had. Milo's voice was soft. No toys, no games, no TV. Just those books. So I read them. Over and over. I taught myself the characters, the tones, the sentence structures. It gave me something to focus on when everything else felt like it was falling apart. Leon felt something tighten in his chest. He knew that feeling, the need for control when the world stripped everything away. My mom started cleaning offices at night, Milo continued. I'd go with her sometimes, do homework in break rooms while she worked. She told me if I wanted a different life, I had to build it myself. No one was going to hand it to me. She was right, Leon said quietly. Milo looked up, surprised by the agreement. Leon stood, walking to the window. When I was 12, my father walked out. Left my mom with 3 kids and a stack of bills. We lived in a basement apartment in the Bronx. I used to study by streetlight because we couldn't always pay the electric bill. Milo's eyes widened slightly. People think I was born into this, Leon continued, gesturing at the office. They don't know I worked construction at 15. That I put myself through state school waiting tables and selling refurbished electronics out of my dorm. That every single thing I have, I fought for. He turned back to Milo. So when you say you taught yourself Mandarin because those books were all you had, I believe you. Because that's exactly the kind of thing someone does when they're desperate to survive. Milo swallowed hard, emotion flickering across his face. Your mother, Leon said. What's her name? Ana. Ana Reyes. Leon froze. The name landed like a punch. He crossed to his desk, fingers flying across his keyboard. Pulled up employee records. Scrolled back, years back, until he found it. Ana Reyes. Hired. September 2014. Status. Active. Department. Facilities. Leon remembered now. The woman with incomplete paperwork. HR had flagged her application. Missing documents, questionable immigration status. Everyone advised him to pass. But something about her desperation reminded him of his own mother. So he signed the approval anyway. I hired her, Leon said, his voice barely above a whisper. 9 years ago. I'm the one who gave her the job. Milo stared at him, stunned. Leon leaned back against his desk, the weight of it settling over him. One decision, made on instinct nearly a decade ago, had just saved his entire empire. Fate didn't just knock. Sometimes it kicked the door down. Leon didn't sleep that night. He sat in his penthouse, staring at the city lights, replaying the moment he'd signed Ana Reyes' employment authorization. He'd been 36 then, newly promoted to CEO, still raw enough to remember what hunger felt like. His COO had called it a liability. His lawyer said it could come back to haunt him. But Leon looked at Anna's application. Single mother, 2 jobs, references from a church and a community center, and saw his own mother's face. So he'd scrawled his signature and told HR to make it work. He never thought about it again. Not until today. By morning, Leon had made his decision. He arrived at the office early, bypassing his executive assistant, and took the elevator down to the 3rd floor where facilities management operated. Anna was restocking a supply closet when he found her. She startled when she saw him, nearly dropping a box of trash bags. Mr. Harrington, she said, her accent thick but her English clear. Is something wrong? No. I need to talk to you about your son. Her face shifted, worry, then fear. Milo, did he do something? I told him not to bother anyone. He saved a $400 million deal yesterday. Anna blinked. What? Leon explained the meeting, the delegation, the Mandarin. Anna listened, her hand pressed to her chest, tears gathering in her eyes. "He never told me," she whispered. "He came home last night and just said work was busy." "That's because he doesn't realize what he did," Leon said. "But I do. And I need to know, what does he want? College? A career?" Anna wiped her eyes quickly. "He got accepted to City College. Full academic scholarship. But we can't afford the rest. Books, housing, food. So he's working. Saving. He says maybe next year, or the year after." Leon's jaw tightened. Kids like Milo didn't get second chances if they waited. The world moved too fast. "What if I offered him something?" Leon asked. Anna looked up sharply. "What kind of something?" "A paid apprenticeship. He'd work directly with my international teams, learn the business, get real experience. And I'd cover his college, tuition, books, housing, everything." Anna's breath caught. "Why would you do that?" "Because 9 years ago, you came to me desperate for a chance. And I gave it to you. Yesterday, your son returned that favor without even knowing it." Leon's voice was steady. "I don't believe in coincidences, Anna. I believe in debts that come full circle." Anna covered her mouth, crying openly now. "But I need to know he wants this," Leon continued. "I'm not doing charity. If he takes this opportunity, I expect him to work harder than he's ever worked in his life." "He will," Anna said immediately. "I promise you, he will." That afternoon, Leon called Milo back to his office. This time, the boy looked less terrified, but still uncertain. "I talked to your mother," Leon began. Milo's eyes widened. "Is she okay?" "She's fine. Better than fine, actually." Leon slid a folder across the desk. "That's an apprenticeship contract. You'd start immediately as a junior liaison for international partnerships. Salary is $60,000 a year. I'll also cover your full tuition at City College, starting next semester." Milo opened the folder, his hands shaking. I don't understand. You have a skill I need. You proved that yesterday. But more than that, you have something rare. You see things other people miss. You listen. You adapt. Those aren't things I can teach." Milo stared at the numbers on the page. "Sir, I clean floors. I've never worked in an office. I don't know how to." "You'll learn," Leon interrupted. "Same way you learned Mandarin. Same way you'll learn everything else." Milo looked up, his eyes wet. "Why me?" Leon leaned back. "Because 10 years ago, someone gave my mother a job when no one else would. And 20 years before that, someone gave me a chance I didn't deserve. This is how the world works, Milo. We pass it forward." Milo's throat worked as he swallowed hard. "I won't let you down. I know you won't." Leon extended his hand. "Welcome to Harrington Global." Milo shook it, and for the first time in years, Leon felt like he'd done something that actually mattered. The news spread through Harrington Global like wildfire. By Monday morning, everyone knew the janitor's kid had been promoted. Reactions ranged from bewildered to outright hostile. Milo reported to the International Relations Department on the 9th floor, wearing clothes his mother had scraped together from a thrift store, khakis that were almost the right length and a button-down shirt that fit well enough. He carried a notebook and the pen Leon's assistant had given him. The department head, Patricia Vance, greeted him with a smile so tight it could have cracked. "Milo, welcome. Your desk is in the corner." It wasn't really a desk. It was a folding table shoved between a filing cabinet and a water cooler. No computer. No phone. Just the table and a chair with a broken wheel. "Thanks," Milo said quietly. Two junior associates, both Ivy League graduates in their mid-20s, watched from their cubicles. One of them, a guy named Brett with gelled hair and a Rolex, leaned over to his colleague. "That's the charity case," he said, not bothering to whisper. "Mommy cleans toilets, so Harrington's playing hero." The woman next to him, Simone, smirked. "How long do you think he lasts? I give it 2 weeks before he realizes he's in over his head." Milo pretended not to hear. He sat down, opened his notebook, and waited. Patricia appeared an hour later with a stack of folders. These are translation requests from last quarter. I need you to review them for accuracy. Flag anything that seems off. Milo took the stack. What languages? Mandarin, mostly. Some Japanese. A bit of Korean. She paused. You do speak those, right? Or was the meeting last week just beginner's luck? Milo met her gaze evenly. I'll let you know if I find any errors. Patricia walked away without another word. By lunch, Milo had flagged 12 mistranslations, some minor, 2 potentially catastrophic. He brought his notes to Patricia's office. She barely glanced up. Leave them on my desk. One of these is urgent, Milo pressed. The contract with the sole distributor uses the wrong honorific. In Korean culture, that's a major insult. If they haven't signed yet. I said leave them on my desk. Milo hesitated, then set the folder down and left. That afternoon, Brett cornered him by the elevators. Hey, Milo. Quick question. Do you actually have a degree, or did Harrington just feel sorry for you? Milo kept his voice level. I start college next semester. So that's a no. Brett grinned. Look man, no offense, but this isn't a place for people learning on the job. We've all got MBAs, years of experience. You're gonna embarrass yourself. Then I guess you'll have something to laugh about, Milo said, stepping into the elevator. Brett's grin faltered. The breaking point came during a department meeting on Friday. Patricia was presenting revised strategies for Asian market expansion when Leon walked in unannounced. How's Milo doing? He asked. The room went silent. Patricia forced a smile. He's adjusting. That's not what I asked. She hesitated. He's flagged a few translation issues. We're reviewing them. Have you fixed the sole contract? Her face went pale. I wasn't aware. Milo flagged it 3 days ago. It's sitting on your desk. Leon's voice was cold. If that contract falls apart because you ignored his warning, you'll answer for it. He turned to the room. Let me be crystal clear. Milo Reyes earned his position. He saved this company from a disaster none of you saw coming. If anyone has a problem with that, my door is open. Otherwise, treat him like the professional he is. No one spoke. Leon's eyes landed on Brett. That includes you. Brett flushed red. Leon turned to Milo, who sat frozen in his chair. Walk with me. In the hallway, Leon's expression softened. They giving you hell? I can handle it, Milo said. I know you can. But you shouldn't have to. Leon's jaw tightened. You didn't get here because of charity, Milo. You got here because you're better than half the people in that room. Don't let them convince you otherwise. Milo nodded, something fierce sparking in his chest. He wasn't going anywhere. 3 months into Milo's apprenticeship, everything fell apart. It started with an article in the Wall Street Journal. The headline read, Harrington Global accused of cultural insensitivity in Beijing partnership. Leon read it over morning coffee, his grip tightening on the mug. The article cited leaked internal documents, emails and contract drafts that allegedly contained offensive language and dismissive attitudes toward Chinese business practices. By 9 a.m., Director Feng's office had released a statement expressing deep concern over the allegations. By noon, 3 other potential Asian partners had postponed meetings indefinitely. Leon called an emergency executive session. His legal team projected the leaked emails onto the conference room screen. These came from an encrypted server, his head of IT explained. Someone with internal access sent them to a competitor, who then fed them to the press. Marcus scanned the emails, frowning. Half of these are taken out of context. This one about aggressive negotiation tactics, that was about our own strategy, not about them. Doesn't matter, Leon said grimly. Perception is reality. If Feng thinks we disrespected him, the deal is dead. Patricia spoke up. We need a translator to verify the Mandarin phrasing in these documents. Make sure nothing actually offensive slipped through. We have translators, Marcus said. Not good enough. We need someone Feng trusts. Everyone turned to look at Milo, who sat at the far end of the table taking notes. Leon's eyes narrowed. "Milo, you've been quiet." Milo glanced up. "I've been reading the documents. And something's wrong." Milo stood, moving closer to the screen. "This phrase here, Bu Zuanzhong Wenhua. It's translated in the article as cultural disrespect, but that's not quite right. The way it's written, it's grammatically awkward. No native speaker would phrase it that way." Patricia leaned forward. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying this document was altered. Someone took real emails and inserted mistranslated Mandarin to make them look worse." Milo pointed to another section. "Same thing here. The characters are correct, but the syntax is off. It reads like someone used a translation app and didn't bother checking it." Leon's expression sharpened. "You're sure?" "I'd stake my job on it." Marcus grabbed his phone. "If we can prove the documents were tampered with." "Feng won't believe us," Patricia interrupted. "Not without independent verification." "Then we get independent verification," Leon said. He looked at Milo. "I need you to write a full report. Break down every translation error, every grammatical inconsistency. Show exactly how these documents were manipulated." Milo swallowed hard. "Sir, if I'm wrong." "You're not." Leon's voice was firm. "I've learned to trust your instincts." Milo worked through the night. He cross-referenced the leaked documents with official company records, identifying 37 points where the Mandarin had been deliberately mistranslated or inserted artificially. He documented each error with linguistic explanations, showing how the phrasing patterns matched automated translation software rather than human fluency. By dawn, he had a 20-page report. Leon read it twice, then forwarded it directly to Director Feng with a personal note. "This young man saved our partnership once. I'm asking you to trust him again." The response came 6 hours later. Feng wanted a video call. Leon, Milo, and Marcus gathered in the conference room. When Feng appeared on screen, his expression was unreadable.
"Mr. Reyes," Feng said in Mandarin, "walk me through your findings." Milo did. For 40 minutes, he explained each discrepancy, each linguistic red flag. Feng asked sharp questions. Milo answered every one without hesitation. Finally, Feng sat back. He spoke in English this time. "Someone tried very hard to destroy our partnership." "Yes," Leon said. "They failed because of him." Feng nodded toward Milo. "I will tell the press this matter has been resolved. But Mr. Harrington, you owe this young man more than salary." "I know," Leon said quietly, glancing at Milo. Feng's expression softened just slightly. "You have unusual talent in your company. Don't waste it." The screen went dark. Marcus exhaled sharply. "We just dodged a bullet." "No," Leon corrected, looking at Milo. "He caught the bullet before it hit us." The press conference was scheduled for 2 p.m. Leon stood at the podium in Harrington Global's media room, cameras flashing, reporters shouting questions. Behind him, projected on a massive screen, was the title slide of Milo's report. "Ladies and gentlemen," Leon began, his voice cutting through the noise. 3 days ago, allegations were made against this company. Today, I'm here to set the record straight." He stepped aside, and Milo walked to the podium. The room fell silent. Reporters exchanged confused glances. Who was this kid? Milo's hands trembled slightly as he gripped the edges of the podium, but his voice came out steady. "My name is Milo Reyes. I'm a linguistic analyst with Harrington Global. I've spent the past 72 hours examining the leaked documents at the center of this controversy." He clicked to the next slide, a side-by-side comparison of the leaked email and the original. "This phrase," Milo continued, highlighting the Mandarin text, "was inserted artificially. The grammar structure doesn't match natural speech patterns. The character placement follows algorithmic translation, not human composition." Another slide, another breakdown. "Here, the honorific is misused. A native speaker wouldn't make this mistake, but translation software would, because it doesn't account for contextual hierarchy in formal Chinese business communication." He walked through 17 examples, each more damning than the last. By the time he reached the final slide, even the skeptical reporters were taking notes. These documents weren't just leaked, Milo concluded. They were weaponized. Someone deliberately mistranslated and altered them to create a scandal that didn't exist. A reporter stood. "Who? We're working with federal investigators to determine that," Leon said, returning to the podium. "But what matters today is this. Our partnership with Director Feng and the Beijing delegation remains strong, because they had the wisdom to verify the truth before reacting to lies." The fallout was swift. The competing firm that had leaked the documents, Stanton Industries, faced immediate scrutiny. Within a week, 3 of their executives resigned. Within 2, they lost their own contracts in Asia. Director Feng didn't just renew Harrington Global's partnership. He expanded it. The deal grew from $400 million to $620 million, with Milo's linguistic oversight written directly into the contract terms. "He's not just translating," Feng told Leon during a private dinner in Beijing. "He's building bridges. That's rarer than you think." Leon raised his glass. "I'm starting to realize that." Feng studied Milo across the table. The young man was listening intently to one of the junior executives, switching effortlessly between English and Mandarin, making everyone feel heard. "How did you find him?" Feng asked. Leon smiled faintly. "I didn't. Life placed him exactly where I needed him." Feng nodded thoughtfully. The best leaders don't find talent. They recognize it when fate delivers it to their door. Leon watched Milo laugh at something one of the executives said, completely at ease in a world that had once seemed impossible. "Yeah," Leon said quietly. "I'm learning that." Back in New York, Milo's desk wasn't in the corner anymore. He'd been moved to a real office, small but his. A nameplate on the door read Milo Reyes, Junior International Liaison. Brett walked past it one morning and stopped. Stared. Milo looked up from his computer. "Morning, Brett." Brett's jaw tightened. He muttered something under his breath and kept walking. Simone appeared a moment later, holding 2 coffees. She set one on Milo's desk. "Peace offering," she said awkwardly. I wasn't fair to you." Milo accepted the coffee. "Thanks. For what it's worth," she added. "That press conference was incredible. You made us all look like amateurs." Milo shook his head. "I just did my job." "No," Simone said. "You did it better than any of us could have." She left before he could respond. Milo sat back, sipping the coffee, staring at the nameplate on his door. A year ago, he'd been emptying trash cans in this building. Now he had business cards, a salary, and respect he'd never imagined earning. His phone buzzed. A text from his mother. "Proud of you, Mijo." Every single day. He smiled, typed back, "Love you, Mom." Then he returned to work. 1 year later, Milo stood in a conference room in Singapore, addressing a panel of investors from Taiwan, Hong Kong, and mainland China. His suit was tailored now, charcoal gray with a subtle pinstripe. His posture confident, but not arrogant. He spoke in Mandarin, outlining Harrington Global's expansion strategy for semiconductor distribution across Southeast Asia. The investors listened without interruption, nodding occasionally, impressed by his command of technical terminology and cultural nuance. When he finished, the lead investor, a woman named Dr. Chun, smiled approvingly. "Your Mandarin has a Beijing accent, but your grammar reflects Southern dialect training." "What did you study?" "I didn't," Milo said. "I taught myself." Dr. Chin's eyebrows rose. "Remarkable."
Leon, seated at the back of the room, watched the exchange with quiet satisfaction. Milo had transformed completely. Gone was the nervous teenager clutching a mop handle. In his place stood a polished professional who commanded rooms full of executives twice his age. After the meeting, Dr. Chen approached Leon privately. "That young man is extraordinary. If you ever decide you don't need him, I'll hire him immediately." Leon chuckled. "Not a chance." Later that evening, Leon and Milo shared dinner at a rooftop restaurant overlooking the Marina Bay Sands. The city glittered below them, alive with light and possibility. "You've come a long way," Leon said, cutting into his steak. Milo smiled. "Still feels surreal sometimes. Does your mother know you're in Singapore?" "I called her this morning. She cried." Milo's expression softened. "She still can't believe this is real." Believe it, Leon said firmly. You earned every bit of this. Milo hesitated, then asked the question that had been on his mind for months. Why did you really give me that first chance? The Mandarin thing could have been a fluke. Leon set down his fork, considering. You want the honest answer. Always. Because when I looked at you that day in the conference room, I saw myself at 17. Hungry. Desperate to prove I was worth something. Leon's voice was quiet. And I remembered what it felt like when someone finally believed in me. Milo's throat tightened. But here's the thing, Leon continued. I gave you an opportunity. What you did with it, that was all you. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, the weight of the journey settling between them. Director Feng asked me something last year, Leon said. He asked how I discovered you. What did you tell him? Leon smiled. That I didn't discover you. Life placed you exactly where I needed you most. Milo looked out at the skyline, his reflection ghosting across the glass. Maybe fate knew we needed each other. Leon raised his glass. To fate, then. They clinked glasses, two people who'd started in basements and shelters, now dining above one of the wealthiest cities on Earth. The emergency began on a Tuesday. Harrington Global was finalizing a partnership with a Tokyo-based robotics firm, a deal worth $300 million and critical to their Pacific expansion. The Japanese executives arrived at noon, led by a senior director named Takahashi-san. The meeting was supposed to be straightforward: sign documents, celebrate the collaboration, move forward. But 10 minutes in, everything stalled. The interpreter Harrington had hired spoke textbook Japanese, formal, accurate, but stiff. Takahashi-san responded politely at first, but his body language grew increasingly uncomfortable. He conferred quietly with his colleagues, and Leon could see the tension building. Marcus leaned over. What's happening? I don't know, Leon muttered. But we're losing them. The interpreter translated something about production timelines. Takahashi-san's expression tightened. He responded in rapid Japanese, his tone sharper than before. The interpreter faltered. He says, there's a misunderstanding about the scope. What kind of misunderstanding? Leon pressed. I'm not sure. The phrasing is complex. Takahashi-san stood, clearly frustrated. His colleagues began gathering their materials. Leon's chest tightened. Not again. Then a voice came from the doorway. Excuse me. Everyone turned. Milo stepped into the room, holding a tablet. He'd been reviewing contracts in the adjacent office and heard the commotion. Takahashi-san, Milo said in flawless Japanese, bowing at precisely the correct angle. Please forgive the interruption. May I clarify the concern? Takahashi-san blinked, surprised. He responded in Japanese, cautious but curious. Milo listened, then turned to Leon. The issue isn't the timeline. It's the terminology. Our contract uses Saizen for production, which implies mass manufacturing. But their technology is bespoke, custom engineering. They need us to use Sekai Saizen, which specifies artisanal precision. To them, the current wording suggests we don't respect their craftsmanship. Leon exhaled slowly. Can you fix it? Already done. Milo handed the tablet to Takahashi-san, showing the revised language. Takahashi-san read carefully, then his expression transformed. He smiled, genuine and warm, and spoke to Milo in Japanese. Milo responded humbly, his tone respectful but confident. Takahashi-san turned to Leon and spoke in English. Your associate understands omotenashi, the spirit of respect and attention. That is rare. Leon glanced at Milo, who stood calmly, waiting. He's more than an associate, Leon said. He's the reason we get things right. The meeting resumed. The contracts were signed. As the Japanese delegation departed, Takahashi-san shook Milo's hand with both of his, a gesture of deep respect. You studied in Japan? He asked. No, sir, Milo said. Just books and dedication. Takahashi-san nodded thoughtfully. Sometimes the best education comes from genuine curiosity. After they left, Marcus turned to Leon, shaking his head in disbelief. Japanese too. What else does this kid speak? Leon just smiled. I stopped being surprised. But he wasn't smiling because of the languages. He was smiling because he just watched Milo do it again, step into chaos and create clarity with nothing but skill and heart. Some people got lucky once. Milo was proving he was something far more valuable, consistent. 6 months after the Tokyo deal, Leon sat in his office reviewing quarterly reports. Harrington Global had expanded into 12 new international markets. Revenue was up 43%. And at the center of nearly every major partnership was the same name, Milo Reyes. Leon closed his laptop and walked to the window. The city sprawled below him, indifferent and immense. He'd built this empire through grit, ruthlessness, and relentless ambition. But somewhere along the way, he'd forgotten what it felt like to be genuinely proud of something. Until Milo. A knock interrupted his thoughts. Milo entered, carrying a folder. At 19 now, he moved with quiet authority, no longer the uncertain boy clutching a maintenance cart. You wanted to see me? Milo asked. Sit. Leon gestured to the chair. Milo sat, curious but calm. Leon studied him for a long moment. Do you remember the first time you came to this office? Every detail, Milo said. I thought you were going to fire my mom for me interrupting the meeting. Leon smiled faintly. I thought about it. They both laughed. Leon's expression grew serious. I brought you here because I want to talk about your future. I'm happy where I am, Milo said quickly. I'm still learning. You're beyond learning, Milo. You're leading. Leon leaned forward. Every executive in this building comes to you when they need clarity. Every international partner asks for you specifically. You're not an apprentice anymore. You haven't been for a while. Milo shifted uncomfortably. I appreciate that, but I'm making you director of international strategy. Milo froze. What? You'll oversee all foreign partnerships. Full executive authority. Seat on the board. You'll report directly to me. Sir, I'm 19. I don't even have a degree yet. You have something better than a degree, Leon interrupted. You have instinct, integrity, and the ability to connect with people across every culture we operate in. That's not taught, Milo. That's born. Milo stared at him, overwhelmed. I didn't hire you because I felt sorry for you, Leon continued. I promoted you because you're the most valuable person in this company. And if I don't lock you in now, someone else will. Milo's eyes glistened. I don't know what to say. Say yes. Milo exhaled shakily, then nodded. Yes. Leon extended his hand. Milo shook it firmly. One more thing, Leon said. Your mother. She's retiring. Effective immediately. Full pension, health care for life. She's done enough. Milo's composure shattered. Tears spilled down his cheeks. Leon, You don't owe me gratitude, Leon said gently. You gave me something I'd lost, faith that good people still rise when given the chance. Milo wiped his eyes, struggling to compose himself. Leon walked to the window, looking out at the city. You know what's strange? I spent decades clawing my way to the top, convinced I had to do it alone. Then a 17-year-old kid with a mop cart reminded me that the best legacies aren't built alone. They're built by recognizing greatness in unexpected places. Milo joined him at the window. Together, they stared at the skyline, the empire they'd saved, rebuilt, and expanded. I was just trying to help, Milo said quietly. That's exactly why it worked. Leon glanced at him. You didn't speak up that day because you wanted something. You spoke up because it was right. That's the difference between someone who climbs and someone who leads. They stood in silence, the weight of the journey settling around them. Thank you, Milo finally said, for seeing me when I was invisible. Leon's expression softened. You were never invisible, Milo. I was just too blind to notice. Below them, the city pulsed with life. Millions of stories unfolding, countless people fighting for their moment. Somewhere in that city, another kid was probably reading donated books by streetlight, teaching themselves something impossible, preparing for a future they couldn't yet imagine. And Leon hoped, somewhere, someone would give that kid the same chance he'd given Milo. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because fate didn't just happen. It was created, one courageous decision at a time.